Hello and welcome to another edition of Author Read. I'm your host, D.M. Wright. Today we're just going to be going through some of the first lines, not the actual right at the very start moment, but we're just going to reintroduce one of the main characters from the Second Emu War of 1932. So specifically, if you've read the first Emu War of 1932, so the first book of it. It's primarily about a major who was a part of that battle, whatever you want to call it, battle. Uh, so in the second book, this is recapping part of his backstory, uh, just to get you back into the mood and getting a bit more to know who this character is for the rest of the book starts. So you can get this at D.M.W productionsoz.com, or you can find it as usual on Amazon. So we're just going to get straight into it. So you can see that there's just a little bit beforehand reintroducing one of the other characters, but we'll start off with the major, but 15 years earlier when he's a little bit younger. So 15 years earlier, 15th April 1917. My dearest Gwenny, a junior officer scribbled a letter home upon his knee. I'm a little dyslexic. Let's deal with that. A candle flickered beside him, which stood upon a broken wooden stool. It trembled at the muffled artillery blasting outside, shaking the foundations of the dimly lit room. Dust fell from the ceiling with every fired shell, coating several men on watch rotation, laying asleep in a rank of mattresses lined up along the wall. Second Lieutenant Gwynedd Meredith of the Ninth Company, Royal Australian Artillery, brushed the fallen debris from his letter and returned pen to paper. By the time this reaches you, we will be celebrating our boy's first birthday, or, if the post comes late, my 30th. The men have assured me that if I get this letter in today, the Air Force will have it timed well. I made friends with the cooks, and they're baking a cake on Thursday for the men to share, along with a cupcake to celebrate our little John on Tuesday. The Brigadier is visiting this week. I'm hoping the cakes aren't seconded for a senior ranks Arvo tea. Tell me everything about my son. He is growing up so fast. How I am missing it all. How did the dinner with your in-laws go? Did Mum talk your head off as usual? Did Dad build the new bed for John? He promised in his last letter, but if procrastination was a job, he would be the CEO tomorrow. I'll write again soon. Yours always, Mary, Second Lieutenant G.P.W.A. Meredith. He folded and neatly placed his letter in an envelope, then looked to a pocket watch chained to the coat he was using as a stool cushion. The hands struck the hour. Precision timing. A first lieutenant opened the door and engaged the only awake in the room. You're on duty, sir. Meredith stood and followed him out. Half dressed, with his khaki shirt undone, it flapped about in the outgoing draught. As he walked through the building, he slipped a pair of sunglasses from his shorts pocket, then placed them coolly over his eyes as the front entrance opened wide. The bright sun illuminated his tropically suited attire, and he stepped out into the light to survey the artillery barracks of Thursday Island. Located at the northernmost point of Australia, it was the most isolated base in the nation, but its first line of defence. Being so far north, it was the first telecommunications station for any craft, air or sea, heading south from northeastern waters. The unmuffled artillery shelling boomed and reverberated his eardrums. With a hand to his eyes to block the glaring Tropic of Capricornian sun, Lieutenant Meredith observed the gunners firing practice rounds from a pair of howitzers, who, too, wore similar shorts and unkept shirts flapping in the humid breeze. "What's the point of practicing when these boys will never get to use them?" another lieutenant muttered, as Meredith approached for handover. The junior officers grimaced, and Meredith shook the hand of the young Lieutenant Donald John O'Leary. "1 year down," Meredith sighed. "One to go." O'Leary grinned. "Then you'll be on the troop ships." Confused, Meredith looked to his friend with a ray of hope hidden behind his sunglasses. "I'm off to the front?" "Nah, you'll be manning the troop ships. Someone has got to, and I've seen to it with the Major." O'Leary winked. "On the sly?" His mate chuckled. "He was on the grog. Not too hard to twist somebody's arm when they risk being charged for conduct unbecoming. So now you get Europe when you're done here, and it's a guaranteed promotion." "You did that for me?" asked Meredith. "Call it my parting gift," said O'Leary. "You're off?" "Next ship out. Orders are orders." "You found another on the grog?" "I found a captain on the take." O'Leary grinned. "Cost me 2 cartons of beer, though, which he immediately split with the Major, and allowed me the opportunity of a quiet word with the latter to fix yours up." Meredith offered a hand of appreciation. "Thanks." "No problemos." O'Leary checked the time. "I'd better skedaddle. See you in 12. Same time, same place." O'Leary dismissed himself, and Meredith was left alone to supervise the artillerymen. His eyes narrowed. He stared farther past the soldiers practicing on the howitzers. While he greatly appreciated the ticket to Europe, it was another long year away. Meredith slid his hand into his shirt pocket and pulled out an old slice of bread. He crumbled it in his hands as he wandered to the edge of a nearby pond. Scattering some of the dried pieces to the water, he keenly watched fish flurry to the surface to devour his culinary gift. Feeding the fish usually distracted him from the displeasures of life, but, with every passing thought running through his head, the lieutenant's hands clenched and his teeth ground together. "Bah!" he grunted. Ditching the last of the bread to the water, he marched back to his supervisory post.